My mango tree video got over 100 million views. This is the full story you've been asking for and how to build a fruit picker. So I bought this house about a year ago for 1.2 million. And the only reason I bought it is because there was this gorgeous mango tree on the property. It was massive, beautiful. I loved it and I love mangoes. And this letter, this violation is telling me that I need to chop the tree down because there's this retaining wall and the tree's roots are pushing into it. I mean, that's obviously a problem. Because I love mangoes so much, I decided that I would fight the city and county of Honolulu on this and I would die trying. Now, when you're making these fruit pickers, really, you can pick any fruit. Precision is important. Smells like blueberries. So we're gonna cut these 5 pieces. And I find out that my neighbor, Brian, is a general contractor. And he comes over and he says, you know, I think I could fix this issue in this rock wall. And I was like, oh, and would that allow us to save the tree? He's like, yeah, I could save the tree. But then he goes, I could fix it for $9,000. I was like, I just bought this house, I'm a millennial, I don't have any cash for that. And he goes, or I can chop down the tree for $1,000. I was like, $1,000, that's a lot cheaper. Let me drill a hole here. But here's where I messed up. I gave him a check for $9 grand, total cost, all up front. Didn't break it up at all. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill some pilot holes to start on each one of these. So you gotta drill 5 holes. There we go, that's 5. Right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a line and we're gonna break this up into 5 pieces. So you can only, do this once, so do it right. Anyway, 3 days go by and Brian and his crew, they never show up. And what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to rebuild this carport in these rocks and basically demo it and then re-cement it and put brick up and the whole thing. And a week goes by and I start to get worried and I text him like, Brian, what's up, dude? Where are you at? No answer. All right, I know he's home because I saw him get home and I'm like knocking on his door and I'm pretty sure he's hiding in his house away from me because he knows he hasn't started the job. And I'm like, what's the deal, dude? Are we doing this or what? Finally, the next day, he calls me, he's like, yeah, we're gonna start. Oh, I promise. I was like, okay, then let's do it. And then the next day, he shows up. It's like, sorry, I have this stuff going on. I was like, it's whatever, just take care of it. So I'm gonna heat this up because it's kind of hard to cut through. Now, back to Brian. So their team shows up and they start putting a little bit of work into the wall, which they're not doing too bad of a job. And what I start to realize is Brian has no plans on doing this rock wall. Because you see, Brian gave me the $9,000 because he didn't want me to repair it. And the reason I know this is I realized that my tree directly blocks the view of Brian's home. If the tree is gone, he's gonna have a better view from his balcony. So now I've got the city trying to chop down my tree. I've got a general contractor named Brian who took $9 grand and a rock wall that still needs to be fixed or a mango tree that still needs to be cut down. Hold on, here, this is kind of, there we go. But the thing is, I just bought this house, so we're not chopping the tree down. I'm totally blowing this. All right, so this thick part is really hard, the bottom of the bottle. We're almost there. We have 2 of the 3 done. But see, the thing is, the further you get along, the harder it gets because there's less stability. 2 more. Oh. Do we have scissors? Yeah. Why did I not do this earlier? This is so much easier. Look at this. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So here's where I'm at. I've got a rock wall that's crumbling, a mango tree that I love that's about to be chopped down. The city's not happy about it. Brian says he's permitted. I find out he's not. I get billed because of this, naturally. And I'm stuck here with half of the work completed from these guys because halfway through the job, he got busy. Like, damn, I can't win on this here. And I have to do something really soon because every week I get reminders from the city and more violations, which obviously adds up. So I reach out to a second contractor and I'm like, look, I need you to just rebuild this rock wall, keep the tree safe, and I need it to be done. And he's like, brother, for sure, we can do this. And I'm like, my guy, yes, please do. And so he quotes me that he can do the job for $40,000. Keep the tree and pay 40 grand, or pay $1,000 and lose the tree? Done deal, we're keeping the tree. $40,000 later, I pay this general contractor the second one. And so I write this general contractor number 2 a check for 40 grand. But here's the thing, I learned my lesson. I only give him 20 grand. So I'm like, ha, I figured this out. And he starts doing the work without a permit naturally. The word past that point, apparently. And I get a call from the city saying he is obstructing traffic with his excavator. And I'm just like, oh. All right, we're gonna drill some holes here. 1 hole, 2 holes. And after this first week with the new contractor and the city calls me, the contractor comes back to me and he goes, Dev, we got a problem. Problems, I'm so tired. I'm ready for there to not be problems. He goes, I underpriced the job. I need more money. Turns out the stuff cost more than I expected. I was like, okay, well, let me know. And he's like, well, I need some right now. I gave you 20 grand a week ago. What do you mean you need it right now? All right, well, how much do you need? He's like, probably about another 10,000. It'll be about $50,000 job. I need another 20 grand right now. You can pay 10 grand at the end. And at this point, all they've done was rented an excavator and start demoing stuff. There hasn't even been any building, only destroying. I have not seen these rocks. I have not seen the concrete. I've seen nothing. Like, all right, well, he's like, if we want to keep going, I need another 20. I was like, okay. And then here is the worst part out of all of it. Hold on. Yes, there we go. Look at that. A week goes by and I get another call from the contractor. He's like, Dev, we got a problem. He's like, we don't have enough money for the supplies. How do you not have enough money for the supplies? And he goes, well, you know, I had bills to pay this week. What? He's like, yeah, I had to pay off my credit card and my rent was due and I had to get my kids some stuff. I was like, what does this have to do with this job? Well, we didn't have enough money to buy the supplies because, you know, I had bills due. I gotta take care of what I gotta take care of. What? So I wrote him another check. Because what do you do? So I'm drilling these holes so I can put this rope through it. All right. In about 3 weeks, I've given him about $50,000. And so now he's torn down the walls. The tree is safe so far. And they bring in these massive boulders. These things are like 8 feet, 4 feet big rocks. It's like, all right, he's like, look at these rocks. Look how nice these are. That's what you got for your 50 grand, Devin. And I was like, you know, Ray, you're not. Just do the job, please. Thank you. Hey, let's get this rope in here. Like that, right? And then it goes out. And then it... So now the wall starts to come together. I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. And he's doing a good job. I will tell you, it looks gorgeous. It's the nicest wall I will ever purchase, I hope. As the wall starts to come together and it's looking good, we get a visit from the building department saying, hey, you're blocking traffic. Your wall's not fixed yet. You're doing unpermitted work. This is not okay. So they send me a fine. God damn, thought we were gonna get away with this, or get it finished at least. And about 3 months go by before they finish the wall. Ray comes to me about 2 weeks before it's done and is like, hey, I need more money. Like, we gotta pay the guys for the concrete. We gotta pay this guy. We gotta pay for that. And I was like, show me the receipts. Like, well, we deal in cash. We don't have receipts. Of course. Of course, that's just how it works. And I ended up giving Ray another 10, 20,000. I'm so frustrated, I'm just mad at this point. Oh, there we go, look at that, look at that. I'm making some progress. I need like a little hook. I mean, at a certain point, some of it is his money. Like, he's doing the work, sure. But he just wasn't upfront about it. That was the issue. And that's what made everything such a pain. And so it really is just a losing battle. There's no winning, there's no coming out ahead. It's just less behind is kind of the whole thing I'm going for here. Oh, damn it. You know, it's really hard to get this through the hole. So now the wall is mostly done. There's no concrete, there's no steps, it's just dirt across my property. And so they haven't actually finished anything. And he wants more money to finish. And I'm like, well, what are even my options? Am I really gonna take this guy to court right now while my property stays in this disheveled state? And every day I'm paying fines for the city for not getting it done. It's like, well, who knows? Even if I win, what if it takes months? Now I have the same amount of dues and fines. There is no winning. This is a game of losing. Just how much less can I lose than I feel like I need to? Aha! We're making some progress. This is what I call art. Yeah. Yeah? All right. This is a lot harder than I expected. All right, so I give him. We're all in on this project for 20 grand. But here's what I say. I say, Raymond, I'm not gonna pay you another penny anymore. I will pay the vendors and the people and the cement guy for what they need. And obviously he did not like that, but he had no choice. I was like, you wanna finish the job? I'll pay for the vendors. And so I pay for the cement truck. I pay for them to put in some nice stairs because we need stairs. And at the end of the day, they did a pretty good job. I give them a 9 out of 10. There's a couple spots where they didn't actually finish the concrete and it like collects water in a hole and I have to like drill some holes to let the water out. But at this point, I'm done with these guys. And the best part is the tree, we've saved it. It is alive, it's fruiting mangoes. We're gonna pick some in a moment here. But that still leaves me with a giant carport and no deck. And so I have to hire another guy, the third contractor, who his name is Ryan. And he comes out and he gives me a quote for the deck, and it was more than I expected, naturally, because Raymond was supposed to do the carport and the deck on top, the roof, but he ran out of money. And so I meet Ryan and we like Ryan. Ryan's like, why didn't they fix this? And why didn't they do that? He comes and he starts fixing all kinds of things that the previous contractors didn't do. Ryan is the man. Ryan puts together a whole proposal for the deck, tells me he can fix everything. And guess what? Ryan does it. Ryan gets to work and he just makes it happen. And he replaces the deck, we finish the carport, it's all built, the tree is alive. And then I get a letter from the city and county saying that since I did this the wrong way, I have permits, but the wrong permits, I need to demo it and start over. Everything. First of all, we're like 70K in. That's not gonna happen. I'm out of money at this point. And so I bring in this architect, and the architect tells me that he can do an after the fact permit and get everything up to speed, but the deck, since it wasn't repaired the correct way, I have to cut it in half. All right, no. I get a hold of a new architect because I didn't like the one that gave me that answer, and he says he can make it happen. And we bring this guy on board, and I will tell you, this is one of the best workers I have ever seen. This guy comes in, he's measuring stuff, takes plans, does the whole thing, knocks it out in a matter of, I don't know, like a week, has all the plans put together, submits it to the county, gets everything done correctly, sends me a bill, and then I never hear from him again because his job is done and he has completed what he needs to do. So what should have been, I don't know, like a 1-month process to build this wall and get some permits and do the whole thing turned into a 6-month, 3 times the cost endeavor, which allowed me to keep the mango tree. And you might be asking yourself, Devin, if you could start over, would you do the same thing again, or would you just chop the tree down? And I can tell you right now, I'd do the whole thing again. I'd waste it all because that mango tree, it's what I live for, dude. I live for the pain. So now we gotta drill this little tiny hole in here. And I save the tree. And now I get to eat the fruits of my labor every single day when I have mangoes. Just putting the plastic piece on. Cool. So we just drilled the hole, and now what we can do is we can put this extender on it. When we pull the string and we want to grab a mango from a tree, it's a lot closer. And so this gives us a little bit of depth. Huh, it works. Did not expect it to work. Let's see what we can grab. Haha, look at this. Oh yeah. Ooh, it's wet.